Let's say someone's like a beginner. Is like the advice to just like let's say you're choking a girl, like is it start softly and increase the intensity and observe her reaction and how she's feeling and is that sort of, or do you want to communicate? Do you want to ask? Like what's the best advice?
Yeah, okay. Choking is like what an example that people often go to, and it's like it's always dangerous like talking about this stuff on the internet because people, some retard's gonna come along and clip it up and just be like he's selling guys to go around and like assault women, which is not the case at all. The number of women who I have sliding into my DMs these days, thanking me, literally thanking me for teaching this stuff to guys, just proves any of that. But anyway, so with that example, what I teach guys is actually to learn how to read women's body language better so that they don't ever cross a boundary. And that's the important part. I don't want guys to ever cross a woman's boundary and make her feel uncomfortable. And you might think, okay, well, surely you'd have to be some kind of a mind reader to do that. And the answer is not necessarily. So with this one example, let's say choking, right? Some women have had a bad experience with that, and you don't ever want to set off a trigger, a negative trigger in that way, or like bring back some bad traumatic experience with her. You want her to actually enjoy herself with you, obviously. So with something like choking, a really good technique I give guys is like, look, let's just start. No, we're not choking, we're not touching the neck or anything at all. But during the act of foreplay or during the act of intercourse, how about you just start just by placing your hand gently on her collarbone there and gauging her reaction. I guarantee you, if a woman has had a very negative past experience around, more dominant sex, for example, like and something like choking, for example, right? If she had a bad experience, I can guarantee you, just by placing your hand there, not doing anything else, you will be able to observe her body language. If her body language is tightening up and tensing up, then that's as far as we're going to go. If she has a negative reaction to that, stop. Don't pursue that. Try something completely different, like sensual, erotic rope bondage, and like tie hands up or something like that. Anything else? Because if she's tensed up from just that real simple baby step, like leading up to erotically choking a woman, well then there's no green light here, right? But if you just rest your hand there and you see the opposite of that, you see her body language like relax a bit more. Maybe she starts biting her lip. Maybe she starts staring you, like looking at you more passionate in the eye. Maybe she even puts her hand on your hand and moves your hand up towards her neck. Oh, well, that's a bit of a green flag, isn't it? Like that, she doesn't have to verbally say these things. And women won't either, by the way. Women won't verbally say, do this, and that to me, primarily because that's not their fantasy. Their fantasy is to have a guy who knows what he's doing and he knows her body better than she does and can give her a fun sexual experience and a very passionate one. So, okay, we've just placed our hand on the collarbone there. We've observed, engaged her body language. Okay, it's either a green light or it's a neutral one. Okay, well, we're not 100% sure still. Okay, we just move it up. Let's just rest the hand on the neck without doing anything. And we're not putting any pressure at all. We don't put pressure on the windpipe. That's definitely an incorrect technique to do. But we're not really applying any pressure. We're just putting it there. And then we're seeing again, we're baby stepping one step closer and we're gauging the body language. Is it a positive reaction? Is it a negative reaction? Is it a neutral reaction? Cool. And we can just baby step from there, gently applying pressure on the sides while making out with her, perhaps seeing how she responds. Is she moaning? Is she enjoying herself? Is she leaning into it? What is her reactions? And fundamentally, that's the way I teach guys to like communicate with women in the bedroom is by kind of being a mind reader without being a mind reader, if that makes sense. You don't have to sit down and go through like a consent checklist because that's just unrealistic. That's not how humans interact with each other. But there's certain groups of people on the internet who try to convince you that that's the way humans actually do interact with one another. But men and women have been making babies for quite a long time now, and that was prior to the internet. That was prior to Me Too and feminism and these kind of movements, and we still figured it out without all that. So I think we fundamentally have the tools to understand one another in a sexual context without pushing anyone's boundaries. We've just not had the proper sexual education around it.